can mention that using a comma between the two interfaces, we are going to inherit in derived class. When a class inherits an interface, it inherits only the method names and signatures because the interface itself contains no implementations. We are now going to look in how inheritance is used in Java. There are two types of inheritance used in Java language, which are: for class inheritance, Java uses the keyword extends. And the next point, for interface inheritance, Java uses the keyword implements. Class inheritance. Here we create a new class as an extension of another class. In Java, it uses the extend keyword to implement the class inheritance primarily for the purpose of code reuse. That is, the derived class inherits the public method and public data of the base class. There is one special case in Java inheritance, which is Java only allows a class to have one immediate base class, single class inheritance. The subclass itself can add its own new behavior and properties. The Java Lang object class is always at the top of any class inheritance hierarchy. Java provides code reusability by inheritance. Let's look into the example. Here, this shows that class van has a speed. By having a separate class for speed, we do not have to put the entire code that belongs to speed inside the van class, where it is possible to reuse the speed class in multiple applications. A very important fact to remember is that Java only supports only single inheritance. This means that a class cannot extend more than one class. Therefore, following is illegal. The super is a Java keyword. As the name suggests, super is used to access the members of the super class. First is accessing super class members. In this example, it uses the super keyword to access the print method in subclass which has been inherited from the super class. And the second one is it uses super to refer to a hidden field. The first use of keyword super is to access the hidden data variables of the super class hidden by the subclass. As in this example, suppose class A is the superclass that has two instance variables as integer A and float B. Class B is the subclass that also contains its own data members named A and B. Then we can access the superclass variable A and B inside the subclass B. Which means that Java compiles with the information hiding when implementing the inheritance. Here, members can either be an instance variable or a method. This form of super is most useful to handle situations where the local members of a subclass hides the members of a superclass having the same name. The following example clarify all confusions. Now we will look at interface inheritance. In the Java programming language, an interface is reference type similar to a class that can only contain only constants, method signatures, and nested types. There are no method bodies. Interfaces cannot be instantiated. They can only be implemented by classes or extended by other interfaces. As in this example, there can be many number of method signatures, but those methods are not be implemented inside the interface. Note that the method signatures have no braces and are terminated with a semicolon. To use an interface, you write a class that implements the interface. When an instantiable class implements an interface, it provides a method body for each of the methods declared in the interface. In Java, it uses keyword implements to inherit interfaces. However, a class can implement one or more interfaces. This has made Java to get rid of the impossibility of multiple inheritance. Comparison between Java and C#. In Java subclass, you can override any method of the superclass. The method that is to be called is always determined at runtime. For an example, if you write the code like this, if you create a new instance of child class, when you call the sayHello method, it is always the child one that will be called, no matter what is the declaration class is. So you can treat an instance of child as an instance of parent, but the method called will be the ones from child. In C#, things are a bit different. C# language needs to be told which method can be overridden and which method overrides, declared as override. So to have same behavior as Java, C# code has to look like this. If the virtual and override are omitted, then it is the parent's method that is executed when the child object is declared as parent. In C# specification, there is a clear explanation on how it is behaved. In a virtual method invocation, the runtime type of the instance for which that invocation takes place determines the actual method implementation to invoke. In a non-virtual method invocation, the compile time type of the instance is the determined factor. In Java, the method called will be determined by the instantiation class, while in C# it will depend on how the class and the call code is written. C# gives you much more flexibility, but it is complicated and the capacity for a class to override a method is determined by its parent class. With Java, you lose the ability to call the parent's method, but it is that very useful. Constructors are an exception to the inheritance process in Java. They are not inherited by the derived class even though they have public visibility. In Java, the super reference can be used to invoke parent's constructor. In C#, there is no super keyword. It has been replaced by the keyword base. In Java, the constructor for the class is not inherited, but it can be invoked using the keyword super. In C# is called using the keyword base. Thank you for watching this video. Hope you got a better knowledge on how the inheritance is implemented in C# and Java.